الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we are coming to the end of the month of Dhul-Qa'dah, and we are about to enter into a very blessed and virtuous month, which is known as the month of Dhul-Hijjah. This is the last month of the Islamic calendar and is literally translated as the month of Hajj. And the first 10 days of this month are the most virtuous part of this month. And these are the most beloved days to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We find in the Quran that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends to show the significance and importance of something, He takes an oath by it. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها, etc. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath by the sun, by the moon, by the day, by the night. And this is to show the importance of these great creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the same manner, we find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath in the Quran, وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ, that by the dawn and by the 10 nights. According to a majority of the leading mufassirin, including Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, Hazrat Qatada rahimahullah, they mention that وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ refers to the first 10 nights of the month of Dhul-Hijjah. So this oath substantiates the greatness and sacredness of these nights in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also, these days are such that if one worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these days, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplies His reward manifolds. One should try and spend these days in fasting and these nights in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a hadith reported on the authority of Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala an, in which Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has been reported to have said, ما من أيام أحب إلى الله أن يتعبد له فيها من عشر ذي الحجة يعدل صيام كل يوم منها بصيام سنة وقيام كل ليلة منها بقيام ليلة القدر أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. And this hadith is reported in Tirmidhi, that there are no other days more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He be worshipped in other than the first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah. Each day's fast from amongst these days is equal in reward to fasting for 1 year, and each night standing in ibadah from amongst these nights is equal to reward of standing in ibadah on the night of power. Such is the reward of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these auspicious days and nights. Furthermore, what else can make these days more virtuous than the fact that such devotions are performed in these days that are not performed and cannot be performed except in these days? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen these days for two great devotions. Number one being the Hajj and pilgrimage, and the second being Udhiyah, Qurbani and sacrifice. These are two such actions that make these days so virtuous and can only be performed on these specific days. A person can stand in the plain of Arafat for the entire year, but he will get no reward. But if that same person stands for even a moment on the 9th of Dhul-Hijjah in Ihram, he gets immense reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if he makes dua and cries to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept his du'as. In the same manner, a person who will do udhiyah on the days other than the 10th, 11th or 12th of the month of Dhul-Hijjah will not get the reward for udhiyah. It is because of these distinguishing characteristics that the ulama have mentioned in the light of Quran and Hadith that after the days of Ramadan, the greatest days in virtue are the first 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people from various countries, from different nationalities, different backgrounds, gather at Makkah Mukarramah and perform the rituals of Hajj. However, this year, unfortunately, due to the current pandemic that has affected the entire world, only a few selected individuals will be given the opportunity to perform Hajj. Many individuals who have the opportunity to go every year to perform Hajj And those who had planned for months on end that we'll go to perform Hajj this year will not be able to go. However, this does not mean that we should waste these days. As mentioned before, these are very important days. We should occupy these days by fasting and busy the nights in the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we are not able to fast the complete 9 days, we should try our best not to miss the 9th, which is also known as Yawm al-Arafah, the day of Arafah. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is reported to have said, صيام يوم عرفة أحتسب على الله أن يكفر السنة التي قبله والسنة التي بعدها أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. And this is a portion of a lengthy narration mentioned in Sahih Muslim, which means Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that I have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the fasting of the day of Arafah will be an expiation for the sins of the previous and following year. And this hadith is reported in Muslim. So fasting on the 9th of Dhul-Hijjah, which is the day of Arafah, holds great significance. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to benefit from these upcoming days. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
If you haven't done yet, please subscribe to our Muslims 365 YouTube channel, press the bell icon for the latest updates, and don't forget to like, comment and share on the videos.